What up, everybody? Welcome back to First and 20, a Dolphins podcast. My apologies for being away for some time, but I am back and we're going to go over the schedule. It was released the other day, and I want to give my way too early record prediction now that the schedule is out. Before I do that, a caveat. Yes, I know there is some money still to be spent in free agency. There are some moves to still be made. So the team could still look a little bit different. I mean, for the most part, I think we're pretty set, but we could still add one or two more important pieces. So this is subject to change. I caution you there. But as we all know, the NFL offseason is long. It's not like the college offseason that's filled with recruiting and transfer portal news like every single day. It's a little more slow paced. There's some lulls in the offseason for the NFL. So I figured, what the hell? Why not? The schedule came out. Let's go through it. So I'm going to skip the preseason entirely for obvious reasons. I mean, nobody really cares about preseason. So we're going to skip to week 1, September 8th, 1 o'clock, a matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars, a chance to avenge a loss from a couple of years back. That I believe that game was played in London, if my memory serves me right, a game we should not have lost. Chance for redemption there. Tua Tagovailoa versus Trevor Lawrence should be a fun one. If I could give a prediction for that, I would say that's going to be a victory. September 8th in Miami, it's going to be in the sweltering heat. That is basically still summertime in Miami. All the heat and humidity on our side. 1 o'clock kickoff. We're going to be fresh. We're going to be healthy. It's week 1. I think we come out of there with a victory. So I have us as at 1-0 after week 1. Now, in an odd turn of events, week 2 is going to be a quick 4-day turnaround to face the in-state rival or the interdivision rival, Buffalo Bills. So we haven't had the best of luck against the Bills in recent years, and we're going to have to play them at home again. We catch them in time of the year where it's still going to be hot, still going to be muggy, even at night. So if the Dolphins are going to steal one against Buffalo, it would probably be this one. I like Miami's chances here. The quick turnaround kind of throws things off, but it's still early in the season that a 4-day turnaround like that isn't going to affect us too much. If this was later in the season, I'd be a little more concerned, but this is early. We're still going to be fresh. I have us stealing one here, maybe an early, an early season, big victory for us. Low scoring game. Tua against Josh Allen is always a fun matchup, especially when there's no snow, inclement weather involved, no rash of injuries across the team. So I have us winning this one, believe it or not. So I have us as 2-0. Then week 3, longer layoff. You got an extra few days to rest to prepare for a West Coast matchup with the Seattle Seahawks. It's on the road. This will be our first road game, our first road test. Seattle, you know what? I have this one as a victory as well. If our offense kind of picks up where they left off, now and I'll get into this as we go more into the schedule, I do have my concerns about the trenches, big time concerns, actually. I hope that gets addressed between now and September 8th, but we'll see. But even with that, I have us possibly or most likely getting a victory here. So you know what? Screw it. 3-0 after the Seahawks game. Tennessee at home. Tennessee's not very good. They're still rebuilding. It's at home. I think we get redemption there. And believe it or not, I have us starting at 4-0. Then we go on the road to face the Patriots. I know it hasn't been the same since Tom Brady retired, but this is another big road test within the division. Last year we went up there, should have blown them out, really, and we almost blew that game in the end. They just drafted Drake May. Not sure what we're going to get out of him, but I have this one as a loss. I think we lose our first one here, and we're 4-1 coming out of the October 6th matchup with the Patriots. Then we have our bye week. And then on October 20th, so 2 weeks later, we go on the road to face Indianapolis. So I have us beating the Colts on October 20th. A week later, come back home to face the Arizona Cardinals. Just because the Dolphins tend to do this, We're what? 5-1 at this point. We got all the momentum. We have a chance to go 6-1 and really, get a stranglehold in the division. I have us tripping up in a game that we should win, and it's most likely going to be this one at home. So I have us losing to the Cardinals at home, probably in a really close game, but I have us losing that one. Then we go on the road to face the Bills, and this is part of the reason I think we might trip up against the Cardinals. Go on the road to face the Bills. That's always a huge matchup. It's going to be chillier. It's going to be November 3rd. We might be looking ahead to that game, which teams get caught doing that all the time. So because of that, I have us losing both the Cardinals and the Bills game, so 2 consecutive losses there. Then you have to go from there on the road to face the LA Rams. Now, they haven't been as good since they won the Super Bowl a few years back, but they're still a team with some talent, and you still have to go to the West Coast to face them. It's an 8:15 p.m. kickoff, so it's one of our 5 primetime games this year. So, unfortunately, I have that one as a loss. We face the Raiders on a Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock. So short week, one less day to prepare, but that shouldn't affect the team too much. Especially, hopefully we're healthy still at this point to face the Las Vegas Raiders at home. I think it's a repeat of last year. This team does tend to fare well against the easier opponents, especially at home, especially if the weather's nice. November 17th in Miami, the weather's usually beautiful. I think the offense gets cranking here, and we win this one. We stay home to face the Patriots on November 24th. That one I have us winning. I have us splitting against the Patriots. So that's another victory. So then we go from there, another quick turnaround game to our second Thursday night game this season. And this one is a Thanksgiving game. It's going to be, I was going to say chilly. It's going to be more than chilly. Just historically, we've never been good in cold weather games. So unfortunately, I have this one as our 5th loss. Then we come back home to face the New York Jets, who we love so much. They are much better this season. This is going to be a tight contest. It's not going to be an embarrassment like the last couple of times we played them. It's going to be a tough game, but it's at home. We need a victory to stay in our playoff contention. I think we get a victory here. So Dolphins get the win. Then December 15th, we go back out on the road to face the Houston Texans. They are a completely different team, completely different franchise since they drafted CJ Stroud. This team is going to be a force in the conference for a long time. And just historically, this is another team we've never done well against, especially in their house. So I have this one as a loss. Now going on the road coming back home to face the San Francisco 49ers. So the good news is you face them at home. This is the week of Christmas, December 22nd, 4:25 game. Again, weather shouldn't be a factor. Weather's beautiful down here in December usually, but it is the 49ers and another team we haven't fared well against. And, Shanahan's going to bring that offense and just out scheme us like they did last time. I have that one as our 7th loss. Then go back out to face the Cleveland Browns, December 29th. That's the week of New Year's. Another primetime game, 8:20 p.m., I believe. Let's see, 7 days later. So that should be a Sunday night game. Should be a fun one. Should be a lot of points scored, a lot of offense. This will be a rare cold weather game that we actually win. How about that? I'll throw a win in there. So that will be a big one, and that will have us really fired up for that final week 18 matchup against the Jets. So we get the win against the Browns, go back out on the road to New York to face the New York Jets. I think we do get a cold weather win against Cleveland, but I don't think we do it 2 weeks in a row. So I have us, unfortunately, losing to the Jets at the end of the season. So there you have it. After going through the schedule, we would be 9-8 if it unfolded that way. So I look at that and I'm like 9-8. Yeah, with the team the way it's assembled right now. Look, I'm a little nervous about our front seven. I got to be honest with you. Jalen Phillips, yeah, he's probably going to come back at some point this season. Is he the same Jalen Phillips as last year? I don't think so. our defense was really cranking when you had Phillips, Chubb, and you had Jalen Ramsey back from his injury. When you had those three guys on the field at the same time, our defense was performing at its best, just clicking on all cylinders. And Chubb is out. You don't know when you're going to get him back. It's possible he misses all of next season, or at least the majority of next season. Jalen Phillips should come back, but again, how much? Like, is he going to be 100%? Probably not. He's going to probably be a bit of a shell of what he was. It's going to take a lot of time for him to get back to what he was before. Secondary, I think, is solid. That Fuller pickup at corner was huge, I think, for our secondary. You still got Jalen Ramsey. You still got Javon Holland, who's one of the best safeties in the league. So I like our secondary. I just don't – I like a couple of the guys that we signed at linebacker after we didn't re-sign Christian Wilkins. We used some of that money to get a couple of talented linebackers. They're fast, they're athletic, but none of them are stars. None of them are Pro Bowlers. They're average to hopefully above average this year. We do still have David Long Jr. He's our best linebacker right now as far as, interior linebacker. So, he's solid, but outside of that, I have questions. There's a lot of question marks. And a defensive tackle, that's going to be our biggest question mark right there. Who did we address that? We didn't address it in the draft. I'll tell you that much. Addressed it a little bit in free agency, maybe, but yeah, I am really concerned about the trenches on defense. Then on offense, like I said, there's a couple I like the signing of the center from Tennessee. People are kind of split on him. I think he fits our scheme well. He's very athletic and quick. I think that can work out. Connor Williams, he was one of the better centers in the league, just couldn't stay healthy. So we'll see what happens there. But my thing was Teron Armstead. You re-signed him. I know you restructured his contract to free up money now. That was smart. But if you're depending on him to be your starting left tackle for an entire season, I mean, you just have to look at the last 3 years. He's not going to stay healthy. It's how many times do we have to do this to ourselves? And that obviously brings up, that's a big question mark. If your left tackle is out half the season or more than half the season, is Tua going to be running for his life again? Probably. Few of the positives, I think we added to an already very fast set of skill position players. I love the running back that we drafted for Tennessee. Malik Washington, I think, was an absolute steal in the draft. I think fans are going to love him. I love that pickup. The Odell Beckham signing, I mean, it doesn't really do a lot for me. It's a big name. He's going to be able to play alongside Cheetah and Waddle, and he'll have a lot of open space to roam and make a few plays. He was still pretty productive last year. He is in his early 30s. We know what happens when an NFL player hits that wall. It's immediate, and it's a cruel game. But I think that he'll make some plays for you. But does it help you? Does it get you any closer to a Super Bowl or a deep playoff run? I don't think it does. Yeah, that's kind of my take on the team. I think we're an above average, above 500 team that has a schedule that's kind of easy on the front end, some tough games on the back end, especially with, possible inclement weather in these, colder towns in December. So we will see how it unfolds. Hopefully we address the defensive tackle position between now and the start of the season. I think we absolutely have to. But until then, that was my very early prediction of the schedule. You let me know what you think in the comments. Please like and subscribe and, share the video. It all helps me grow the channel. And I will see you guys next time. Go Dolphins.